Good morning from Birmingham, Alabama. You're listening to Word of Mouth. We're here with three of my best friends, Cole Eddins, Jacob McClendon, and Miles Allen.
My name is Miles.
All right, guys, tell us who you are.
I got it.
Yeah.
My name is Cole Eddins. I am from Birmingham, Alabama. I am 22, a senior at Samford University.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Oh, wow.
And I recently learned last night I love a grilled chicken sandwich for mug shots.
Wow.
That's my intro.
Today's episode is sponsored by Mug Shots.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mug Shots.
Specifically the one that wasn't.
Not the restaurant Mug
Did it
Shots.
close already? The one wow.
Not the restaurant Mug Shots, but like Mug Shots when you get arrested.
People that go to jail.
Yeah.
This is sponsored by
Honestly,
getting arrested.
Mug Shots in
Having a
Fultondale
record.
opening up right beside Five Guys. I mean,
What's up with that?
Crazy.
I was a
Guys is
business
also like
minor, and I know that was a
$35
dumb idea.
for a patty.
All right, Jake, what do we need to know about you?
My name is Jacob McClendon. I am 19 years old. I'm a sophomore at Samford University, and my favorite kind of Christmas tree ornament
Okay.
is the ones that like spin.
All right, Myers, what do we need to know about you?
My name is Myers. I studied economics at Sanford Anniversary.
Where do you work now?
I work at Peacock Insurance. Which is in
And
Gardendale,
legitimately,
Alabama.
a sponsor of our episode today is Peacock Insurance. So if you need any auto or home or renters or what is it called when you get like engagement ring insurance?
It's a
Valuables.
It's a marine floater.
A marine floater
Yeah,
insurance.
It's
If you need insurance on anything,
That's for a boat.
if you need insurance for your church, all the pastors listening. There's
Yeah.
many pastors listening.
Joel.
Joel,
Josh.
Jeff.
Jeff.
Shout out Jeff. You probably actually will listen to this, Jeff. So
hope
shout
Jeff
out
listens.
Jeff.
Yeah, I'm a coffee enthusiast. I'm a car enthusiast.
Do you love The Office and
I'm a
Adventures?
Claire enthusiast. I'm married.
Married. Shout out Claire.
I'm a Christmas enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enthused by Christmas.
Same.
Would you say that it's your favorite holiday?
Absolutely.
Ooh, favorite holiday. Go around.
By far Christmas.
Christmas just is like the one holiday that all the other ones are kind of based off of, I feel like. All the other ones are just
Wow.
variations of Christmas.
Real.
St. Patrick's Day.
You know,
It's like
I
Christmas,
only
but green,
focuses on green.
green and drunk.
I don't know if
Green and
that's
drunk
true.
Christmas.
I feel like all the other ones.
Christmas is like the gift holiday, and then Easter's like gifts, and then like Thanksgiving is like food.
Yes.
Gifts.
My favorite historically has been July 4th.
Wow.
I don't not because of like
patriot.
America.
Legitimately, you always love July 4th.
Yeah, me and my family always went to the beach on July 4th, and we rented like the
makes sense.
same house growing up. And
That's cool.
this past year, I've only had one. Wait, I think I've only had one bad July 4th.
What happened? What made it bad?
I was working at camp in Washington, and
You weren't at the beach with your family?
I wasn't at the beach with my family.
That makes sense.
I was in Bellingham, and I was
The
working at a
wrong
camp.
Beham. The
I
wrong
know.
Beham.
Yeah, the worst Beham. It was weird living in Bellingham and seeing like Beham stickers, and I was.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah, but here, we have like the Ain't No Ham like Birmingham.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
You ever seen that?
Yeah, I never saw that whenever I was in Bellingham.
Ain't no ham.
I've seen
No
the
ham.
I've seen the bee with like a ham like graphic.
Yeah, they hadn't caught on to that one yet either. Bellingham.
That's shocking, actually.
They
bee with
skipped
the ham
the.
graphic is like that is the lowest hanging fruit. It's like, what if we put a ham on the ham part?
part. They like skipped the meat meme world.
Yeah.
They just jumped straight into vegetarian world when in Washington
Sorry
State.
to whoever made that.
They
graphic.
missed the meat meme.
I actually wonder who made that graphic originally.
It's probably
That guy
Emma
thinks he's a
Fronte.
freaking genius, and
Probably a
I
fourth grader.
guarantee you he does not live in the city limits of Birmingham.
I bet his business is called Magic City something.
And he lives in
Magic City
Vestavia. I
Graphics.
guarantee you he lives.
I feel like he might live in Morris. You know how Morris like has logos of the Birmingham skyline everywhere, but it's just like way out. It's
Yeah.
not Birmingham.
Remember the Christmas Vision shirt that was like the Patagonia logo?
Oh,
It said
man.
Gardendale. That was awesome.
Oh man! For all of our listeners out there that doesn't know what Christmas Visions is, or Gardendale, at that, it's where Jake and I are from originally,
where I
and
work.
Christmas Vision, and it's where Peacock Insurance is. Again, shout out PI
Shout out.
Shane. But Christmas Visions, we raised money at our high school, like an enormous amount of money every year, actually, to like pay for Christmases for students who couldn't afford it, and like students' parents could apply for it and stuff. At all the different elementary schools around
And
Jeffco.
you sold shirts every year to like raise money for it, and
Like students like submitted to be the shirt that got voted to win, and I won it my senior year. I
Really?
put
Was it the
Christmas
Patagonia
Visions in Seaside font. I made the Seaside shirt.
Yeah.
people wear those
Heck
like
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Those all the-
honestly,
I didn't know that was you.
the best one.
I didn't know that was you, man.
That was all the craze in 2011.
Yeah, I remember sitting
Everyone
with
loved Seaside Font.
I remember sitting with Madison Ferguson. Shout out Madison Ferguson if you're listening.
no shot.
In ad design, and she taught me, like I had never seen Adobe Illustrator before in my life, and I was like, I don't know how to do graphic design. I need your help, Madison, because she was like president of the ad design club, and she straight up like I needed like we
Highly
needed
attended club.
Illustrator. We needed Illustrator to put Christmas Visions in Seaside font. That was it. That was the whole graphic.
Eureka.
And people went
Amazing.
crazy over it.
People were like, add to cart.
Yeah.
But yeah, July 4th, great holiday.
What was yours, Cole?
Yeah.
Mine was
you said
Christmas.
Christmas,
I think more this year than ever. I've strictly my whole life been a Black Friday, start celebrating Christmas. And I was very vocal about people that would listen to Christmas music before Black Friday. Really, especially in high school.
That's
I felt
real.
like that
Wait,
was
sorry, is it on Black Friday or is it like
on Black
Saturday?
Friday you
Okay.
can start, you know.
Gotcha.
Goofy.
And really felt like it was my job to tell people that you shouldn't
to
do
be
that.
to be the Christmas
Yeah,
police.
that's
Yeah,
goofy.
That was
I had
me
to
too.
do
That was
that.
real. I made fun of people so hard for listening to Christmas music.
That is
before.
so odd.
While we're on the subject, and we have an econ major in the room, I actually am really curious. Cyber Monday and Black Friday, from my understanding, used to be one day, and now they're still
Consumerism,
happening
man.
now. Like this year, like why are sales? Why is it possible for sales to last this
They're
long?
too good. They can't be contained to
Okay,
one day.
here's the thing.
Because everything's already so.
I don't think sales on like Black Friday and Cyber Monday are as good as they used to be.
No, for
I
sure.
fully
For
agree.
sure.
Like you,
You
used
could get
to
a
walk
Wii
into
for like $70.
Yeah, you used to walk into like Best Buy, and you would first of all you'd wait in line for
Like
2
hours.
days,
Immediately I'm
like
out.
to get this TV, and the TV would be like 70%.
Dude, the thing is, like,
it was like you
there
were
was
stealing a TV.
there
from
was a
Best
phase
Buy.
where people were legitimately fighting other people over
Yes.
deals.
There were fights in
That's-
Walmart.
That's
Oh
not
man,
happening
you remember
now.
the Galleria? Whenever we were going
That
out,
was crazy.
oh man,
Yeah.
the Galleria
But
was
I
the
just
mall.
I don't
in
think the
Birmingham.
deals are that good anymore.
It has to
is
not
like-
be because there's
they've
like
stretched it out so much. It's like Black Friday is actually like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving.
yeah, like
leading
legitimately,
up to
Amazon
Black
had
Friday.
deals. I think a week before Thanksgiving this year for like early Black Friday.
Yeah.
It's like that doesn't make
It's like
any sense.
If you take like an Xbox, what I don't even know how much is like a new Xbox, like
Probably like
$500.
$500.
I have no
Like
idea.
20% off of that. I'm still not like busting down.
Hey,
the
look
door.
up Xbox prices.
Can we see Xbox
Our
prices?
imaginary
Thanks.
producer.
Yeah, it's like even 20% off of that is like okay. Like I'm still spending like a lot.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
what's the
still
what's the
spending
math
a
on
lot
that,
of
Jacob?
money.
Go ahead.
okay, so
$430.
so just to put this in reference, okay, the first thing on is Walmart, and a original Xbox $499 is on sale for $399 at Walmart right now. And we're at December.
It's just
9th.
December
I was
9th.
close.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a
You were
day.
Like, how much do you think? Who makes Xbox? Is Xbox
Microsoft.
Like, how much do you think Microsoft makes an Xbox for? Like $100?
Okay, here's some business, bro. stuff. Xboxes, like the system is a loss leader. They lose money by selling. They lose money by selling the Xbox, but they make up money on the back end. Big business brain right now.
Sam's calling back in. Let's pick this up. Hey Sam, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you're live on the podcast.
What?
You're live on the podcast.
This is a sneak peek of our next guest.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm
man.
live right now, for real?
You're live. You just called in during the podcast.
Oh, wow.
All right. Hey, give us some content real quick. What should we know?
Just be prepared for anything, man. I'm
Hey.
excited.
That's true. That's true.
That's right.
All right, man. I'll call you later.
All right, see ya.
All right.
I totally thought it was gonna be Sam Edens. I was like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "Oh, Frank."
Hi, man.
That was my
What's
brother.
going on, brother?
He will. I don't know in what order these episodes will come out, but Sam's going to be on later today. We're going to be talking about something fun, maybe regarding an inland marine policy.
Perhaps.
Oh.
Perhaps. He may or may
would
not.
never listen to that
He may
in a
or may
million
not have
years.
actually added that to his renters policy.
Oh, that sounds real interesting.
Tune in for the insurance episode. Sponsored by Peacock Insurance.
Yeah. If you were closely listening, that joke made sense. But if you weren't, you're going to be like annoyed. Anyways.
Okay, finishing Xbox makes up money on the back end from all the games they sell, all of the
Controllers.
Controllers, I think they do actually make money off of. I've listened to someone talk about this, so this is just second.
So they lose money every Xbox they sell.
But dude, think about how much money people spend on Call of Duty and Fortnite and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
like once the game is done being made, it costs like 19 cents to make like the downloadable content.
Yeah,
So it's
Xbox makes money off of that. So they put a lot of money into developing it on the back end, basically.
That's crazy. I had no clue.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's kind of like when you open up a McDonald's, you lose a McDonald's, but everybody has to go there and buy like fries and burgers. Fries and burgers are like the games. The McDonald's building is like the Xbox.
Dude, I was thinking that
Sure.
same thing, but I was thinking about it in Subway context, so I'm just like not there with you.
Okay.
I was not tracking. I only eat at Burger King.
Our Christian ministry major and our music major are having trouble keeping up.
Okay, bro. I'm a nonprofit management minor, so I can
Cole
rock
knows
with
how
that.
to
So
make
you don't
money
understand?
without taking
I
any
can
of
know
it
how
for
to-
himself.
I can know how to ask for money. Hey, can you pay me to
Nonprofit major.
do
That's just
good
that's just a
things?
Christian ministry business major.
Legitimately, they
Oh, you're in the
said,
business of Christians.
yeah. They said, "Oh, you want a business
Booming
background?
industry.
We made this for your major," and I was like, "All right, I guess I'm doing that."
Oh, how about that?
And I'm acing my classes. So
Wow. Okay. So what we were talking about before we got on to move us along into our first like part of this, the ACT, fascinating construct. We all have to oblige to, or I guess what is the other one
areas
called?
it's SAT.
The SAT for you Yankees, and you Westerners, West Coast.
We have
folk.
a lot of listeners up in Massachusetts.
Shout out Kayla. No, so I just think it's fascinating, like how we were talking about how you can take it like a million times, or you can take it like twice, and you end up with this score, and the tests change, and the test grading changes based upon all. It's just a fascinating thing, and then you like that pretty much makes you capable or incapable of spending like a very critical 4 years of your life, like a life-changing 4 years of your life. And then throw on top of it, high schoolers during the pandemic straight up didn't have to take the ACT.
Well,
Like
then they made it possible for you to take individual sections of the ACT. So you could super
Yes, you could
yeah,
super score.
You could
That's
super
that's
score.
how I got all my scholarships for Samford.
I knew you could super score, but you can like go be like, I just want to take the
I want
science
to take
today.
math. Yeah.
Dude, honestly,
Yeah,
I think the
that's
fatigue of
crazy.
taking all of them at one time
No,
is
for
one of the
sure.
hardest parts.
You get to what's the
Yeah.
last one? You get to math,
Science.
I think
it's
reading
science and
comprehension is the last one.
dude. Whatever's
Is it?
last, you're just like, like,
Oh
you
my
just
gosh.
don't even want to like.
I don't even
think about
science.
anything.
I don't know.
Science is that's hard.
Yeah, science was all about. Was it chart reading? I think that was all that
Yes,
science
it
was.
was like basically like reading with extra steps.
It's great. Like I literally took that test 9 years ago, and I still remember that. Like that's how like drilled into my brain.
I remember that was the first time I've ever seen a DAP pen in my life because they gave us a break and we went to the bathroom and a bunch of guys were like smoking weed in the bathroom of the ACT. And I was like,
heck yeah.
What are you doing?
They probably got 35.
Arguably the most strict environment we operated
legitimately
in.
as a high schooler, the most like pressurized, observable context.
They dictate what watch you can wear.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. I just forgot about that.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I remember bringing in the right calculator was like a big deal.
Yeah.
Because all of us had to have, was it TI 83s or something, the Texas Instrument ones? And from what I remember, we weren't allowed to bring in TI 83s. You had to bring in like a lower level calculator, but it could be up, like the level could be up to. So I remember going and buying a specific like ACT calculator, like whenever I was going down that path.
How the first time you took?
Yeah, I was about to say, how old were you?
Gardendale offered it for free for all the students. I think I was a sophomore, and I didn't know that we were taking it until I showed up to school. And I made like I think an 18 or a 19. I was just like, what is this?
Because did you take the pre-ACT as like a freshman or something?
No, I don't think so.
I got a 12. Genuinely a 12. And I was like, I'm not going to do good.
I did not do that.
It's a problem for me.
I didn't take like AP courses. So those like, even the question structures, like I went from like, what is the mitochondria like matched to the, the four other options to like, if you were, I don't actually remember what it's like. It's like, read this insanely dense chart and tell me a conclusion regarding the mitochondria. And I was like, what the heck is going on?
Cole was saying before we got on that your best, talk to me about it, because then I have a fun story about my best ACT.
Yeah, so the first time I took the ACT, I was a freshman, and I got a 20. And then I believe I was a sophomore, and I did like a prep course with this woman that looked exactly like the turtle from Kung Fu Panda.
I guarantee you we took the same prep course. I guarantee it.
Do you know her name?
It's like Faye, I think.
No way! Yes.
Holy cow.
She was insane. She was so freaking good.
Dude, she bought me like 8 points for real.
So I took this course from her. We actually got a week of school off, and we didn't. Well, I went to private school, so we had to wear uniforms.
Okay,
and it was like,
couldn't be me.
And so it was like, hey, you don't have to wear your uniform. You have to wear jeans, but you don't have to wear your uniform. Jeans? And
Bro, you were stepping out in those jeans.
And you can like go take this prep course and take the ACT on Saturday. So I took the prep course. Sadly, I got my worst concussion ever, like the weekend prior. And so,
well, how did that happen?
I went head to elbow with a dude playing soccer. Not beneficial for the thinking ability going into the ACT. So I do this whole week of prep.
That would kind of impair you a little bit.
Not to think clearly. So I'm like halfway doing this prep because I'm like concussed. And then comes to the morning of, and I was like, I'm not going to do good, Dad. He's like, sorry, Dad. But he was like, take some Adderall.
Oh man.
So I took Adderall. Wow. And you're like, and I was so locked, bro. And so I went from having a 20 to having a 27 while concussed and on Adderall.
Ridiculous. Dude, mine is not that crazy, but I had mono my junior year of high school.
Ouch.
And it sucked.
From kissing?
I went from so much kissing. I went from 206, I weighed 206 pounds to 178 pounds in 2 weeks.
Whoa.
It was crazy because I could eat, those like go-go school, or not go-go.
Doctors hate this
Go-Gurt?
trick.
The Go-Gurt?
What's get mono?
Inject mono.
Get mono.
What's that?
Nearly die.
Little applesauce packs.
Go-Go squeeze?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could eat one of those and a piece of bread a day. That's all
Holy
I could
cow.
eat. And sometimes I would put it on the bread. And
It's like,
Wait,
apple butter.
you were only allowed to eat that?
no, like,
or like
I would
that's
throw
all you
anything
could?
else up. Like
Wow.
immediately I'd throw it up. I'd just be like, I remember after a tennis match one time, I we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and I got like garlic parmesan boneless wings. It was like Thursday night, so it was like half off.
Oh, 50
I got,
wings?
Did you have mono and then go play tennis and then go to B-dubs?
Okay. So let me explain a little bit. I didn't know I had mono. I like had a weird like fatigue all the time, and we couldn't figure out what it was.
Okay.
But I like didn't want to miss out on like the tennis season, so I kept playing. But I just felt like garbage every time. And so we went to like Buffalo Wild Wings after, got garlic parmesan, ate it, and then I was like, I don't feel good. And then I got to the parking lot and genuinely just barfed everything up. Shout out Susanna. She went and got water for me.
Oh no,
that is crazy.
Let's do a Susanna shout out ticker.
There's like 7 by the end. It's like
What is going on?
yeah, she was like, I'm sorry. And
Sally,
I was like,
Sally's gonna be like, what the heck?
yeah, so yeah, I had mono. So then I took the ACT with mono, and like waking up in the morning early with that sickness is like, there's few things I hate more. It was like the worst feeling in the world because you just feel like you want to throw up and not move. And I had to go take the ACT.
Holy cow.
So I got in there and already like that's the worst feeling ever. Like getting in that room.
How does your brain even function?
Yeah, getting in that room and having to sit down and take that, but with like that horrible sickness, I literally was like, and then I took it, and that was my best score. I got a 28.
That is insane.
It was crazy. I think and it was the day of the Magnolia Festival. So outside, there's fire trucks like, I was trying to take the ACT, and everyone, and the teacher's like, I'm so sorry. And outside, there's just kids like, yippee.
Oh my gosh. That is insane, dude. Like,
does everyone remember what their highest ACT scores were for like each section?
I do.
Oh, dude, yes. Oh my gosh, I looked at those numbers so many times because like I want to go to Sanford so bad.
My highest was I got a 32 in English.
Wow.
Which I was kind of jazzed about.
let's go.
Low-key jazzed.
Low-key pumped about that one.
What was your highest math?
A 26.
Wow.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not even kidding you. I'll have to average this out, but I think I made a 33, 32, 31 in math, science, English, and then a 19
That is fascinating.
in reading comprehension.
That's fascinating because I literally
crazy.
same thing, but I got like genuinely like a 34 in reading, like a 31 in English. Science, I got like a 26, and math, I never got above a 19.
For all of our European listeners, 36 is the highest you can get in each section.
Yeah.
So
We're like bragging
European
about a
listeners?
100-point scale right now.
I got a 36, so
Feeling pretty good.
My proudest moments. 36 is in both English and reading comprehension.
Oh my gosh. Let's go. That's a perfect.
However,
Classically educated homeschooler here, if you can't tell.
In Mississippi though.
I
So.
don't actually remember if I even broke 20 on the math.
No, I never broke 20.
I might have
so
gotten.
bad at math.
I can't remember my math and science, but they were very low 20s. If I did break 20,
I never took algebra 2 in high school, and I passed algebra 1 with a D.
Yeah.
I am
Wow.
horrible at math.
The only class I ever dropped in college was pre-cal. I had to retake that class.
That is so fast because, like, my brain, when there is like structure, like when you can fall back on a formula and all you have to do is just like plug in numbers.
Yeah.
That is such a breath of fresh air. Whereas like when it's reading comprehension, that is limitless. Like there's a million different things that you could read and understand out of a passage.
Story of triumph. I graduated with an econ degree.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean that's honestly, econ is probably the closest math gets to getting back into like
I took
limitlessness.
so many data science classes and stuff. It was really hard. That's part of why I did it. I wanted to challenge myself.
I was at business concentration. I took like a month of intro to data analytics, and I was like, no, not for me. It's so hard.
It was funny. As soon as it started to click, I graduated.
Yeah.
I think I finally get it. And then it was like, I don't.
Because you had a 4.0 senior, like final semester, right? Didn't you make all A's your last semester of college? That was the only semester of college I made all A's.
But my first semester senior year, I took econometrics, and I think that might have been my worst grade in college.
Yeah.
I might have gotten a D in that class.
Did you pass?
I did pass.
That was like
it was the.
that was also like the worst.
Notoriously like the hardest.
No, that was
class
your
in
first
the business school. I think I might have gotten a C in it.
That was your first semester
think you can
senior.
pass
So
that.
this year that I lived in.
It was my senior project. It was like your
man.
capstone or whatever. And dude, you have to. It's basically
I hated
graduate
those.
level.
I hated that thing.
It's
man.
basically a graduate level econ class, and you have to do like a lot of research and data science stuff, and it was really hard.
What's the lowest grade that you passed a class with in college, Steven?
That's actually a great question. I definitely think I made a D in. I dropped Spanish though. I think I either made a 69 or a 70 in econ. I'm not kidding you. Like I remember Dr. Cardin, which like if anybody was a Barack elite, you know Dr. Cardin. Just like a little side story on Dr. Cardin to paint some context here. This guy had us all over for dinner at his house, which was very kind of him. He's a great man. There's absolutely no way he would ever spend his time listening to this podcast.
No.
Shout out
But
Dr. Carter.
he had, is it Ellie's Jerusalem Grill, right?
Yeah, it's Ellie's.
Former employee.
Yeah, it's Ellie's. No big deal.
Ellie's Jerusalem Grill, Mediterranean place in Birmingham, pretty good. I remember he catered it when we came over for dinner, and he had this like, there was like no meat in this, and like legitimately there was this like meat supplement patty thing, and I was like, he acted like it was the best food on planet Earth, and I remember eating this like purplish, it was like kind of felt like a tortilla. It was just the weirdest thing ever, and he's just like, this is the best food I've ever had in my life.
Dr. Carter, this food sucks.
Yeah, that's wild.
So I went over to his house one time, and it was just the most hippie house ever. And he's like a freaking genius.
Yeah.
It was
It's
like
really hilarious. He has like
fascinating.
multiple papers published,
like New York Times
so
author.
brilliant.
He like
Wall Street Journal.
for the educating world to teach economics. He writes the textbook.
Yeah,
That's insane.
like so brilliant, and
Yeah.
yet he, like his family is low key kind of like hippie vibes.
Yeah,
like super weird. Yeah.
That's interesting.
But I remember being in his class, and like during the syllabus day, he was like, you have to spend, like, I think it was a 4 credit hour class. No, it was a 3 credit hour class because it was business. And he was like, okay, so you need to be prepared to spend 3 times the credit hour amount outside of class every week for every class. Yeah. And I remember like,
bro, it sucks.
so 9 hours a week outside of the 3 hours you spent in class a week, he wanted me doing like homework for every single class that I was in. And I was in 5 classes. So like, do the math there, man. Like it's impossible. Like that's like a 70-hour week doing schoolwork every single, and I was working, and I was like, I literally almost raised my hand and I was like, Dr. Carton, like, you can't be serious. Like, that's not.
Yeah.
And then he assigned homework as if we were spending 9 hours.
Did y'all have Critic, the online platform?
Yes.
Dude.
And I did none of it until the very end, and I had like a 62 or something like that.
Oh gosh.
Because I thought the tests were going to be easy, and then I could not figure out like the I can't remember what it was called, but the triangle like formula or whatever. And like I remember sitting in the caveat basement one day for
couch?
literally all day long, like an entire, like maybe 12 straight hours. And I just went through Critic, and I remember like halfway through, because you had to like watch videos.
You had to watch videos, and you had to comment.
That he had made at his previous university. So it was videos of him.
And which is insane. Like, it's just more class. And I literally looked up on Reddit like how to code through Chrome, how to like get through the videos faster. Like, because I was like, once you got to the quiz, it was like, it wasn't common sense, but it was like pretty.
It was it was logic.
Yeah. And so I figured I had to like 3
class.
times or 4 times my way through the videos instead of like, I think it allowed like a 2 time or something. I can't remember. But I was just like, this is insane. Like, he would reteach the same stuff we learned in class just on a video.
And you have to
had to watch it.
It is really
and it was
funny.
like 10 or 15 points in your final grade, so I had to get it up. So I can't remember how it finished, but I remember like calling my dad like afterwards, and I had already dropped, or I'd already like failed Spanish the previous semester and like dropped it before like the drop date. And I was just like, Dad, like I think I legitimately might have to like drop this class. And he was like, Steven, like, I think you should at least try. And it was like one of those like motivational like YouTube video moments for me. I was like, you're right. And I like went to caveat the next day and just like grinded. Like,
Yeah.
Dad, I finished,
and I
I
passed.
finished.
So,
Dude, that
chase your
class-
dreams.
It's really funny because that same class, I didn't take it at the same time as you, but that same class I passed with ease, and that's why I chose to major in econ.
Yeah, screw you, Steven.
And it's not to say I'm
COVID semester?
No, it was right before COVID.
Dude, that was hands down the hardest I've ever worked in a class. Like, we would go to his office hours.
I think I got a B. Like I don't think I
no,
went
because you would
crazy.
like tutor me.
Yeah,
We'd
I
like
helped
meet
you.
up in
Yeah.
the lib, and you'd
And
like,
it's not to say I'm smarter than either of
Yeah.
you. Just like that's how my brain works, you know.
Dude, my
And
mom-
So that's why I majored in econ because I was like, this is actually
Yeah.
kind of easy for me, and it's harder for everyone else. So I guess this is what I should do.
my mom
That's
was
funny.
so like, you know what, Cole? Like, you have been so faithful and gone, and he loves you, and he sees how hard you're working. He will give you a C.
Shout
and
out
I'm
Karen.
like,
Shout out Karen.
I don't know, Mom. Like, that's not how he works. She's like, no,
It's not really how Dr. Carton
He's
works.
gonna do it. Like, he
Mom,
likes
Dr.
you.
Carton does
She
not
had
believe in
faith
God.
him.
Sure enough, I was like, Mom, he's gonna give me what my grade is. There's no way I can pull my grade to a C, and I got a 68. And Mom's like, shoot, I really thought he would have. And I was like, no, that's not how this guy works.
He's
No.
like, that does not make economical sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, shout out Dr. Carden though, great
Yeah.
guy.
It's so interesting, like in college, high school, like difference of like if your teacher's like being a real scumbag, your mom's like, I can get involved in high school. It's like I can do something. I can do something
I'll
about this.
fix this.
In college, like I can complain about a professor to my mom. She's like, I can. You
My mom
go
legitimately
talk
like,
to their
Sorry.
advisor or
my
something.
mom would be like, who do I need to call? And I was
No,
just
literally,
like,
and it's like, there's nothing you can do. Like that just makes me look like a loser. If my mom is like,
Mom,
also like
he knows
literally-
I'm complaining then.
yeah, it's my mom goes to my theory professor and is like, why is my kid not passing? It's like, your kid sucks at music theory.
Man, Samuel A. Peacock is about to walk in this door right now.
Oh, I locked the door. 'Cause I wanted to hit.
Well, I think that door over there is unlocked. Anyways, so what else do you want to talk about?
Good question.
Can I talk about a really funny joke that I made yesterday?
Oh yeah, this brings
yeah.
us to our next segment today, which is what's a funny joke you told last week?
Okay, sick. Thank you. I'll go first. So yesterday, I went to Texas this past weekend, and we stopped in Austin and played Butler Park, which is a golf course. It's like
So cool.
It's a 9-hole golf course. It's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. And Sam Eddins, brother of Cole Eddins and my roommate and best friend,
Whoa, we dropped the best friend card.
he my best friend.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he made a hole-in-one on hole 2
Wow.
at Butler Park in Austin, Texas.
Crazy.
And so he like saved the ball that he had made the
Oh, I
hole in one
didn't know
with
that.
and put it with the scorecard that he like whatever.
Did he frame it?
And
Is it
no,
in
he's
the-
going to.
Oh,
He's
that's
gonna
sick.
frame it.
That'll be cool.
So it was sitting in our room, and I had this idea to like, you know, in Indy and the Jones.
Indiana Jones.
You know, in Indy and the
you know, indie, this indie artist, indie
You know,
and the Jones.
That- let- move on.
you know Indiana Jones, where he like switches the skull with something, like he like
Yeah.
puts the thing in front over the like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
The only Indiana Jones I've ever consumed in my life is the ride or like the show at Disney World.
He replaces the
Crystal skull with like
the
a
other thing,
so he can,
and then
like,
the boulder
steal.
chases.
Yeah, so he can like steal the skull.
Yeah, it's the same way.
the Ark of the
So-
Covenant.
The Ark of the Covenant. Yeah.
Yeah.
He replaces the skull with the Ark of the Covenant.
Random moments the Bible shows up in modern day media. Example 1.
Yeah, I think Harrison Ford is actually a Christian. That's why.
Yeah, I knew that. So I had this funny idea. It was just me and Sam there to like switch the ball with another golf ball. And this is so a deep explanation that's just gonna be so painfully unfunny, but it's fine. So I got my
Welcome back to this segment, or this new segment we like to call "You Had to Be There."
I got my phone out and I pulled this up and I was like, Sam, and then I played this. And then which doesn't really make any sense because it's not the Indiana Jones theme, it's the James Bond theme. Thank you. And I played it and I like switched the balls and I took his golf ball and that was it.
Wow.
And Sam laughed, and then Ethan Spades came in my room, and I did it again, and Ethan laughed.
Wow.
So that's 2. Now Cole laughed.
Cole is
so
laughing right now. So you got 3 laughs out of
I
that
think
one.
Cole was laughing at a different.
I'm laughing at how horrible that was of an explanation. Like the build up.
I don't-
Guys, I told this joke. Guys,
It was
I
a
told this
funny.
joke.
It was a
If you
funny
don't play
joke.
that song, I don't think I
There's
would have
gotta
known
be
it
a
was Indiana
ratio.
Jones.
It's not. It's James Bond.
Oh, okay.
There's got to be a ratio of like joke to laughs, and there's got to be a number of laughs before I think it's like a good joke.
Guys,
like
I
it's,
have this
It's
joke.
like when you're a stand-up comedian, I imagine, and you're working on new material, and you go to the comedy club and you tell a joke, and then you try and measure the room to see how many people laugh.
Yeah.
So that one does not pass.
Do you
You've
guys
only
feel
got
like?
3 laughs out of that.
Do you guys
one.
feel like out of the jokes? I feel like Cole, you would understand this the most. But like, do you feel like there's like out of the jokes that you make in like a group setting, do you think that you have a higher percentage of misses to hits?
Out of a group setting, yeah. I actually learned this on my class the other day. There is, if you are to present a new idea, like a joke, to a group of people, and you give like your take on it, everyone is more likely to agree with you and like laugh with you and be like, yeah, no, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Up until the number of 7 people.
And then like
Once you get to 7, it is statistically more likely that people will like
disagree.
disagree with you.
That
Fascinating.
is so interesting.
So like, I'm gonna be throwing jokes when I'm hanging out with my
6
family.
people. Yeah.
And like,
oh yeah. 5.
That's
6
what I was
people.
thinking. I was thinking like if you're with the people that you know well,
Yeah.
like your besties, your family,
Yeah.
then you just know how to get them. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
But when
what
you're
lands.
when you're just like in a class with
Oh my
strangers
gosh.
or something, you don't know.
I haven't talked like, other than I guess music school. Like I know pretty much everyone in those classes, but like in a gen ed, I haven't like spoken. And I don't think yet in college.
Yeah.
I do not talk.
Dude,
at all
I used
in
to
gen ed
in
classes.
the music classes that I would take. You know, those classes were like 10 or 15 people.
Yeah, oh,
Dude,
they're
I had
so fun.
those people rough.
Yes. Oh, it's so
I
fun.
had
Oh,
them.
it's so
I had
fun.
them dying, and then I'd go to my business
And you're like-
class, and it'd be like 40 people, and I was not the smartest
Oh,
person in
no,
the
not
room
at
at
all.
all in any way, and I was quiet.
dude, I don't know what it is within me, but it eats me alive when no one will speak. in
That's
class.
real. No, same.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, I would speak in class, but I wasn't making jokes. I was, participating in class.
I'm like, if I'm sitting in class and there's an answer and I know the answer,
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
answer?
wait.
Yeah.
And then I will raise my hand inevitably
real.
because it kills me.
It's just dead silent. The
It
teacher's just like,
drives me mad when other people don't participate at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually funny because my wife, Claire, is
Was
the
one of
person
those.
who's like very quiet and just listening
Yeah.
and learning that way. And so like sometimes I have trouble understanding her in like a group context, like home group or something like that, because she won't ever speak up.
Dude, that makes sense. That's how like Ella is. She like is great one-on-one when she feels really comfortable, and she's fun in like a group setting, but she's so much funnier when she's comfortable. And I'm like, just do that. And it's like, Cole, we don't all operate like you, stupid. I'm like, fair point.
Hey,
But yeah,
it
no, I
doesn't
get
mean
that.
they're wrong or bad.
No.
They're just different.
Yeah,
it's just different.
Kind of like me and Steven with
so
econ.
true, man.
You know,
That's so
Yeah.
it's not bad or good.
So true.
It's just
I'm not
different.
I'm not like a good student. Like I wouldn't categorize myself as like a good student in school. Like
I'm not a good student.
I like in,
I don't
in
think
gen
I
eds-
was either.
In gen eds, I have my I probably have my AirPods in like all class. Like I don't
real.
like I
That's
don't.
real.
I'm a horrible student in that context because I don't feel like that class matters very much, and I like want to have respect for the teacher, but I just like I don't know. That kind of stuff is tough because like in Cortex CP whatever, I just like I'm sure I would have enjoyed the conversation, but I'm just kind of sitting there like. This is not. I'm just gonna do my assignments and get out of this class. Like I don't.
Dude,
feel like that
I'm a
much.
big, as long as I've been in school, mainly because my dad taught me. I'm a big like kiss ass. Like I will do anything it takes.
Honestly, true. Yeah,
to-
I
Your
try
dad,
to be really.
your
nice
dad
and-
taught you?
My dad was like, "Here's the thing,
Your
Cole.
dad taught you how
like
to kiss?
Oh, he wasn't like your teacher. He
No.
taught you to be that way.
he taught
see.
me to like play your cards, man. Like if you need to go and just butter them up, do it.
Butter him up, man.
And,
I watched The Princess Diaries last night. Great film.
Yeah.
Top. I don't want to
That's
say
my
top
parents'
10.
favorite movie.
I'll say top 50 movie of all time for
Wait,
me.
I thought earlier you said it was Princess Bride.
Oh, wait.
No, Princess Diaries.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of Princess Bride.
Me as well.
Princess
Bride is a great movie
Princess
too.
Diaries
out.
is Demi
I like
Lovato,
Chris.
right?
I like Princess
Anne
Diaries.
Hathaway.
I'm sorry, I spoke
One of
wrong
Anne
on my
Hathaway's-
parents. Their favorite movie is Princess Bride.
One of Anne Hathaway's first films, and she's like one of the most famous actors ever now. It's kind of cool. But anyways, the Queen of Genovia, Anne Hathaway's character's grandmother,
The Genovia Convention.
the Genovia Convention, she backs into, or Anne Hathaway's character accidentally backs into a trolley cart in San Francisco, and then the Queen just has this scene where she was just like, I am so proud of you as the cop and the trolley driver here. It is so like chivalrous of you to care about your people so much that you would run the city this way, and like because they were giving her a ticket and stuff, and like wanted to take her downtown, and then she like bestows upon them this like honor of the rose, because like the road sign beside her said this honor of the rose, and then they let her go free right after, and then it was just like such a good scene of what you're talking about right now. Such a great example,
dude. So with that example, buttering your teachers up, I'm in a financial management of nonprofit entities, and we're having
nonprofit management minor.
Yep, we're having Herbie Newell, who is the executive high up CEO of Lifeline Adoption Agency, and he's guest teaching. And so for legit first day, walk up, hey, Cole Eddins, nice to meet you. And we adopted my younger sister through Lifeline. And so he immediately was like, I know who you are.
Shout out Hadley.
Yeah. He's like, you're Cole Eddins. Your parents are Pat and Karen. Your dad's hilarious. I was like, my dad is hilarious. Thank you. And so we had from the get-go, we had this little like interaction. And then Mondays we go play golf.
Yeah.
You and this guy?
No. You're with me, bro. Like, we go play golf. And it's during that 3:30 period when my class starts.
I didn't know that was the class.
Yeah.
Wow.
So every time I'm playing golf with y'all, I'm skipping his class.
That's the teacher that you text all the time, and he's just like, forgive it.
Yeah, dude. Literally sending
He
him.
values
crazy.
honesty highly.
He does, and like telling him like, hey, I'm not gonna be there today. This is my last skip. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, he said, I'm guessing you're home with your family for the break. And I was like, I'm not home right now. So I sent him a selfie of Sam and I playing.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, I'd be lying if I said I was home. I'm playing golf with my brother right now. He was like, yeah, I'll excuse that.
That's crazy.
Sick.
So now
You should invite him.
That would so be me. That's why I would be a bad professor, because I would let people skip. Like if you just tell me why you're skipping, I'm like, sure. I mean, like I would too.
And he like, because of that, like he gave me a 39 out of 30 on my presentation. Oh my God. Like I have a 98 in the class, and I've skipped like 5 classes. He's
That would be me
excused
too.
all of them.
That would be me too.
It's so awesome. I love it. It works, man. Butter
If
them
I
up.
ever teach a class, that's how I will be. For all of my future students who are infants right now, you know.
Hey, well, now that we've talked about how we are being students and our thoughts on group discussion, we're going to move into our next segment of the evening, and that is Myers Sports. I just found a pretty fun score line here. This is a legitimate high school basketball game that happened in Jackson City, Kentucky. The Jackson City... Wait, let's see if there's no mascots listed on this, but Jackson City was facing Woodbridge, and the final score, 215-28.
Holy cow.
What are your thoughts, Myers? Report on this.
That's unbelievable. I'm trying to think about, it was a basketball game?
Yes.
How many minutes are in a basketball game?
In a high school basketball game? I don't remember. 40?
60? 40?
I think it's like 4 10-minute quarters. Sam played basketball in middle school.
It
He
might be.
know.
I'll look it up. It might be 8, honestly.
Because I'm just thinking, I'm trying to think about the math on how many points they had to score per minute. I mean, they had to just...
Hey, producer Samuel,
crazy.
how many minutes are in a high school basketball game? 4 8-minute
he's
quarters. That's
beyond that.
Yeah, 8 minutes.
Is it
That is
actually?
unbelievable.
I remember I was watching NBA interviews the other day, and I think it was like Guillermo at the finals. And he was like, how many points could you put up in a JV game? Like legit. And he was like, and the main question players asked for, like, how many minutes are in JV basketball games again? And that was like legitimately what they were saying. They were like, they were trying to figure out how many minutes or how many points they could possibly score.
Makes sense. I grew up homeschooled, as we've mentioned. And so I did homeschool sports. And I was like,
Did you play against your sisters?
No.
So like,
I was like the best in the homeschool sports, but we would go play.
Did y'all play like basketball and football?
I only did track. They did have a basketball team. They didn't have football. Couldn't afford the insurance for it.
Ran around.
But like,
there's no one there.
Ran around in his front yard.
Yeah, I just ran against my sisters in the front yard and I destroyed them. No,
First place, baby.
They actually had an organized homeschool track team, and we would run against like the private schools in town, and they would wipe us. Like absolutely destroy us.
Like so 215 to 28 kind of
That makes sense to me because I just imagine one is like some kind of struggling little school with like short 5'7" skinny white dudes like me
5'7's pretty tall.
playing against
Dude, chill out with that.
playing against other people who are bigger.
So to your point, the Woodbridge team, the losing team, had 14 players, 10 of whom were freshmen or younger, including one female. Jamie Clay of the opposite team scored 64 points.
Yeah.
And his teammate Chris McIntosh scored 54.
Yeah,
so there was
every
players.
one of them had to score like 50 or 60.
Oh
So they had
my
5
word.
others that had double digits.
Yeah.
That is nuts. Do you think that the parents of the losing team like, okay, this is interesting.
Oh man,
Like,
I have a good story.
How do you I think about this a lot. I don't actually think about this that much, but if you're the person
At least once a day.
If you're the person who farts the most in the world, you would never know. You would never know because you think that everyone farts that much. I could be the person that farts the most. I could be the smelliest at Sanford.
I actually am probably in the top percent of people
I think I'm definitely up there first off.
Well, I have CF.
Oh, true.
Cystic fibrosis shadow.
I also
Shout out to cystic fibrosis.
like
my
those people,
genes.
the parents of those kids that lost have no idea that we are talking about how poorly they lost right now, and also like they're probably consoling their kids like
You're
it's
not
okay,
that
like
bad.
they have a lot more resources, all this stuff, and it's like
You're playing with girls.
No, there's like random
215
people in
to
Alabama
27.
like talking
Wow.
about how bad
yeah, it's like
they are.
you have
Honestly,
no idea.
like maybe
I don't know how much the fart thing
Sam-
has anything to do with that, but I brought
Sam,
it up.
what do you think the worst score in a Bama Blazers game was?
92 to 3.
Dude, me and Sam, legitimately, there was like we played upward basketball growing up, and there was like this one dude, or maybe like 2 or 3 players that were like maybe AAU level. There was one guy who was for sure AAU level, like basketball. So that guy's dad had the brilliant idea of making like an upward all stars, like from like our church to compete in like AAU basketball games. And we were the Bama Blazers.
Oh gosh.
And Sam was a starter. I was far from being a starter, but I was on the team. And we would play. Honestly, we might have people listening to this who have played our team, like in these like Alabama and like Tennessee and Georgia showcase tournaments. If you ever played Bama Blazers, shout out to you, man. I would love to hear this story from your perspective. But we played in like 3 tournaments, and we were like, we're not doing this anymore. But we played this one game against a team from Chicago. That was I take that back. They were the Memphis Bulls. That's what it was. And from our understanding, they were like one of the top 10 teams in the country in our age group. Like they were
The Bama
unreal.
Blazers.
You were in 7th grade, Sam? How old were we? I think I was in 6th grade. Yeah, summer after 6. So we were 6th and 7th grade. I don't know how old you are, like 12 or 13 years
13,
old.
I think.
The other team had 3 kids who could dunk. Like it was crazy.
As a 12-year-old.
I guess they might have been 13 because I was playing in Sam's age group.
That's nuts.
And what happens in AAU games whenever they know that, because this happens to them a lot, they play in these like tournaments, and they will keep the ball. They'll legitimately kind of line up in like layup lines, and then they'll keep the ball from you because there wasn't a shot clock I don't think there was a shot clock in AAU, so they would just like literally dribble it around and keep the ball for as long, so they could get through a game as fast as they can without exerting energy for like when they had to play. Like they're good teams.
Wow. That is great.
So they went up.
Such an insult, dude.
It was the worst like sporting moments of my life. Were
that
those
is
tournaments
so insulting.
And but I would
like
get
you're
in
literally
those
just warm-ups.
games
You're
because we were just like chasing them around and stuff, and we would run out of fouls because we would foul them trying to get the ball back. It was terrible. But anyways, all that to say, we were in this game. We were down like I think it was 65-0. Like we literally had scored 0 points. I think we got like a free throw opportunity and we missed both. Like it was horrible. We were playing in the Spain Park gym. I can feel it. I can smell it. I can see it. And I go down. Somehow I got the ball. And this was like before I knew how to shoot with like my right hand behind. Like this was like still like the passing shoot. So I'm like,
and you're 13. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Also, why were second string playing at 65-0?
Because they ran out of fouls. Like everybody else had fouled out.
Yeah.
My gosh.
So like I was in, and I'm not kidding you, like NBA range. I just come up. And the other team's parents, that's what struck the chord when you said that. The other team's parents were like, shoot it.
Oh, my
And I literally shot it from NBA range, straight at the top of the arc. Drilled it. Like it was like nothing but that. 65-3. The whole place. The other fans, everyone, like
insulting.
the parents of the other teams that were waiting for them to play went crazy.
Like, let's go.
Wow.
65-3.
And so
I was just like that. And then later on in the game, one of the kids who could dunk ran down, and he was they were like laughing and like trying to see if they could dunk in the game. Yeah. Because it was still difficult for them to dunk because, they're freaking 13. Yeah. And this kid goes up to dunk, and I just like, intentional foul for sure. I was just like, this is so embarrassing. So I just like shoved him. And the dude broke his leg.
Holy cow.
Are you serious?
I had no clue that was coming.
Yes.
Wow.
So this guy's like on the top, one of the top 10 teams in like the country. And he goes up to
Ruined
dunk
his
in a
season.
65-3 game after I had drilled a 3. And I just intentional foul. And I got a tech because I laughed. Not because I broke his leg. The ref told me that I got a tech because I laughed. Because, what was that? Was his name Demetrius? What was that guy's name that was on our team that, it started with a D. I can't remember. But anyways, he came up to me and he definitely shared some words. I can't share on the podcast right now. But he was just essentially like, F that guy. Like, he sucks. And I laughed at what he said to me. Because I wasn't very comfortable with like cuss words at that point in my life. And yeah.
Like, anyways.
It was like Darius or Dimitri. I can't remember his name, but he came up to and essentially like cussed the guy out, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like that was insane. More like out of
curse words are crazy.
Shock.
Yeah.
You like couldn't believe it.
And then when he thought that like we laughed because the guy like broke his leg.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a terrible moment.
So funny. How vividly you remember everything.
Yeah. Dude, Spain Park, man.
So,
hey, do y'all remember, like, of all the sports teams you were on as kids, do you remember, like, the names of each of the teams?
Oh, no.
No way.
No idea.
The only one I remember,
sports.
Yeah, the only one I remember was the best soccer team I was ever on. We came in third at state. I played rec for one of the local schools, and they were called the Strikers.
Strikers.
And we were
Let's go.
raw. And then the next 2 or 3 years of soccer that I played, we were like the bottom of the barrel teams, and I just quit because I was tired of losing.
Cole, I'm trying to figure out how to pose this question without going down like too deep into this rabbit hole, because travel soccer is definitely like a deep dark hole no one understands.
Yeah, true.
But let's see. Short explanation: there are 4 levels to club soccer, and I played at the highest level because I was way too into it when I was in high school. Yeah. And you played at Briarwood, right? Mm-hmm. Which was the lowest level. Mm-hmm. But it was like above rec, though. You played D2.
It wasn't. There's ECNL.
Yeah.
And then there's, what's the one under? We're the one under ECNL. My team. Because Briarwood has teams that function at like, we're not rec. We are competitive, but we're not insanely competitive.
Okay.
And then you have individual teams that are like, we travel. And like, but we're not gonna travel like nationally.
Sure.
So like ECNLs travel nationally. We're traveling like within the state.
Yeah.
And like sometimes gonna go do a tournament in like Georgia or Florida. That's where I functioned.
I my question was, what was it like to play on a team that was like
very
more
big,
intense than
big.
rec, but like
Well, so funny story about
Still
that.
not like national travel
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Were
the parents just freaking nuts in like Auburn and stuff? Like, I don't know what that would be like.
Dude, I could give you 15 different stories. At one point, got threatened by my teammate's parent because I was like a big kid and didn't really know how to control my body. And then I like stepped on this guy's ankle that like thought he was insane, legitimately. Took his shirt off every time he scored.
Wow.
As a 14-year-old. Which is like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And
the equivalent of being able to dunk.
Yeah. Yeah. His dad like came up to me and like started chewing me out, and I just started crying. That's like a 14-year-old. And my coach like had to step in. But so I played like growing up youth soccer, very rec. And then you could try out for the gold team. And every year for 4 years, I got a call that we're taking 22 and you're number 23 for 4 years straight.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And we
like that they probably called and told everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's parents.
Well, the thing was like my friends were good enough to be on the gold team. Like all of my like best friends. And so then I'd get put with like this Joe Schmo group of people. And then there was one year they didn't have enough for a blue team, so they're like, you can either not play or play like rec. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna play rec then. And so I played like as a 13-year-old, I played rec with people that had legitimately never played soccer in their life.
Is it co-ed?
Sometimes it was co-ed. And my nickname on the team was Messi.
Oh, let's go.
I like was not good.
That's awesome.
But I was the only kid that had ever played competitively.
That's actually awesome.
And I would bring my friends that were like on the gold team to like come watch me play.
Oh, let's go.
And there's this one game where we're like driving to this rec league and I'm like freaking hungry. And I'm like, Dad, I've got to eat something before. And Dad's like, oh, we got Crystal. So I was like, yeah, we'll do Crystal. So I get like 3 Crystal burgers. And my best friend orders and takes a bite and is like, these are bad. And I was like, I'll eat them. So he watched me walk to the field, eat Crystal, and then score 3 goals.
Wow.
Because like these kids suck.
Dude.
And then after that, like the next year I came back, I had this whole like self-sabotage understanding, learned fear of failure is why I wasn't applying myself. Then ended up making the gold team until I had to stop playing because of injuries, but
concussions. So now that we've discussed
Crystals,
like
so
soccer
good.
and crystals, Jake, what's the disc golf world like? Because I'm gonna out you. You own a backpack for discs.
That's fair.
And multiple discs.
That's fair.
at least 10.
Wow.
At least 10
It's like
discs.
no,
See,
dude, it's like
I
40.
played
Disc golf listeners are just like, I'm getting off this podcast.
I played disc golf enough to have 3 discs, and I would carry them.
All right,
just in my hand.
let's clear the air on this disc golf crap. Okay, I am a holder of a PDGA Professional Disc Golf Association membership card. I paid for it. I have a PDGA number.
How much?
I think it's like $30 a year.
Wow. High gates. Steep.
And when you
High
sign up, you
barrier
get a
to
little
entry.
you get a disc and you get a little certificate. So screw you guys. First off, so and thank you. I entered tournaments to play disc golf my junior and senior year of high school. I played tennis and disc golf. That was my 2 sports.
Tennis, cool.
Tennis, cool.
Just to
Disc golf,
clarify.
lame as frick. I played at the Gardendale course a lot. Okay, so also all of my friends, like every
Fieldstown
single one of my
course.
friends, Fieldstown, every single one of my friends had gotten into disc golf heavy, and I was not the best of my friends. I was up there, but I was by like not the best, and I probably spent like $500 or $600 on like discs and backpacks.
Wow.
And chalk bags
That's
and
unbelievable.
and
People
clothing.
chalk for frisbee golf.
Yeah, you chalk your hands.
I never
I
knew that.
did not know that.
Yes, Steven, you chalk your hands.
Steven, you chalk your
man.
hands.
Come on.
How far do you think a like regular disc golf drive is?
I mean, I've played
90
2
yards?
rounds before, so
No,
I'm
90
basing
yards.
this off of like the length of the holes, and I would say maybe like 100 would be insane.
100 what?
100 was my guess.
100 feet or yards?
Feet or yards?
Yards.
I think 100
Yeah.
yards is also like par 5 or
100.
something.
No, so 100 yards, like a good regular par 3 is going to be about 100 yards.
Really?
Like the longest par 3 at Gardendale is 100 yards. It's 306 feet.
Okay.
But like a par 5 is probably like 600 feet. And like I would say you're a good disc golfer if you can accurately throw 450 feet. Like that's like
okay.
legit.
It's like 120 yards.
Yeah, like I never got above. Like I could throw accurately at my best 350 feet. Like that was the best I could ever do.
That's pretty good though.
And it's
That's a football field.
It's really interesting because putting is so much longer in disc golf, but driving is so much shorter.
Yeah.
Like
That
putting,
is interesting.
like a 60-foot putt in disc golf is like, oh, that's a good putt.
Yeah.
But it's like a 60-foot putt in ball golf is like, oh my, like that is like,
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
unbelievable. But like a drive in golf is like 400 yards. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And that, you can't drive 400 yards in disc golf. Like that's impossible.
Yeah.
Truly,
Yeah.
that's impossible. It's weird. It's weird, like the difference between them.
But one pet peeve I have with real golf is when there's like a
golf.
dog leg
It's fine. It's called ball golf, but it's fine.
It's called ball
to
golf.
disc golfers.
It's
it
called
is.
In like disc
golf,
golf world,
actually.
everyone would call it
But
ball
when there's
golf.
like
No.
a hole with like a big curve and you're watching like PGA golf and then they just like cut the corner and they're like, that was a 600-yard drive. It's like, it truly wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just like a 600-yard drive if you like took your yardage thing and like made a big curve.
true. Yeah.
That's just a random, numbers. You get it, econ guy.
I love econ. I just want to say so golf is called golf, and then there's other sports that sort of take the
soccer,
game
golf.
of golf. Yes, there's games based on golf that
Disc
use
golf.
different. I don't know what you call it.
Mediums.
Mediums. Yeah, but it's golf. You know.
Yeah, it's not-
It's kind of like table tennis.
Wow.
It's tennis, but it's smaller.
Yeah.
You know. I feel like
Golf
it's
is
rare.
square
It's
one.
rare that a game that's based on another sport becomes as big as or bigger than.
Bro, that is soccer, football, and rugby are all football, but different variations of the rules for football.
Would you say that?
So, do you think with enough time, a sport that's based on another sport becomes as big as or bigger than?
100%.
Really?
people thought that? People
Wow.
thought that.
Because that is like what happened with like soccer, rugby, and football.
I never knew
because football, it was like the reason why Americans call soccer football is because it's like an abbreviation of the word that comes before football, and then gridiron football is like American football, and then there's like rugby football, which is rugby. So they've all kind of taken on their own like
Sport.
This is the technical term, but the British hate the fact that Americans are like, it's soccer. Even though like
like American
it technically
football
is.
It's really strange how there had to be some sort of variation of it like way like
So which
a
one?
thousand
Which one
years ago.
came first?
There was like a different sport that was kind of like a combination of the three. But I remember when I watched a documentary on this like 2 or 3 months ago. But whenever like the free flowing aspect of like what we call soccer was invented, it blew up in like well-knownness or like fame like faster than any of the other ones did.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because like, and honestly, like this is like as a soccer player, I have a huge bias, but like I think that there is so much more. Like the main reason I enjoy soccer more than like American football, which I do enjoy American football, is like because there's like you don't stop all the time. Like I hate that about American football. I mean,
That's
it's like
why I think
there's
it's
a
one
different
of-
amount of strategy and it's still super hard and stuff.
I
but
think
it
why
personally just
soccer is
annoys me.
one of the most difficult sports to play is because
Constant.
it's constant.
Yeah.
Similar to like I think basketball, but basketball's more explosive.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot more endurance
Yeah.
with soccer because there's the explosion of the play.
Yeah.
But then you have to like slow it back down and still keep moving.
The other day when Sam, our producer Sam, sitting over here in the yellow chair, he played right back for the first time I think I've ever seen him play in my life. And it was like hilarious seeing him like try to figure out like who to guard and stuff. And there's a level of like panic that came over him
100%.
Yeah.
because you can't call it. You literally can't call a timeout. Like there's
Yeah.
no unless you kick the ball out of bounds, I guess. But still,
Yeah.
And you're like talking. You're like, what do I do?
You're-
Help me out. Help me out.
yeah,
Who
you're
am I?
just
Who
like-
am I marking?
you know, it's a fascinating
Tennis,
sport.
it's so interesting because like tennis is the biggest offender of like the downtime as opposed to like ball and play time
when you're competing.
is crazy.
That is
like
nuts.
ball and play for tennis is like 20% of the
Dude,
match.
and
Yeah.
and golf.
Yeah.
When the ball's in the air.
When the ball actually
is
matters.
when like you are competing.
Yeah.
Till
Golf
then,
is a different world. Also, freaking, if we want to talk about it, I don't want to get on this too much because I'll get fired up. American baseball is the worst invented sport
I hate baseball so much.
of all freaking time.
I'm
not saying it's not entertaining. I'm not saying it's not fun.
I am.
I'll go to a baseball game anytime. But if we're talking about like if no sports are invented right now, we like, and we're just like, all right, let's chalkboard or on the whiteboard. Let's create a sport. If you were the most boring person on planet Earth, you would create baseball. Like, it is the most boring thing ever to me. Sorry,
we're never going to get sponsored by the
I'm on
Red
board
Sox
with that.
now.
The Red Sox hate us.
So boring. So boring to watch. So boring. I never wanted to play baseball ever.
No,
because I was like, what? I'm going to go stand in a field in the heat with
fill my glove with dirt
on?
and put it on my head.
Dude,
long
an
sleeves.
American baseball glove is probably one of the coolest inventions.
It looks cool.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
It's like a call.
The Eames chair was based off of a baseball glove. I learned that the other day.
That's kind of cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Meant
You
to
would
be like
get
sitting
some
in a baseball
people
glove.
very riled up.
I've already got some people riled up. I've got Sam riled up. Sam's a huge baseball fan.
Like I'm a way bigger golf fan than I am a baseball fan. But I see how baseball, it's more social than golf is, which is why I think people love it.
I also think
it has avenues to become more exciting as the game goes on than golf does. Mm-hmm. And so to be able to sit here and be like, golf's more entertaining, people would shoot me.
I think here's the barrier for me with sports is it has to be entertaining to watch it happen regardless of if I understand the context. So if there's a lot of politics involved, this is why I'm a huge car guy, but I don't care to watch F1, is because F1 is primarily about all of the politics involved in the racers and the teams and everything going on. I just want to watch the race and be like, dude, this is so cool. They're going so fast.
That's true.
A lot of
And
people,
with soccer, I can be like not that interested in what's going on with Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. I cannot care about either of those teams.
It's still like an interesting
but it's still like, whoa, they're making passes.
Yeah.
This might be a goal. Oh, nope, just kidding. Oh, wait, no. All of a sudden, there's something going on.
Yeah.
Like, it's really interesting and entertaining to watch.
Dude, one thing that is really funny as like a subculture from where we grew up is like trying to get parents that don't know what soccer is and explain what soccer is.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then be like, I've been here for 15 years. I don't get offsides. I don't understand. Why can't I just stand back there?
Well, I wonder if that exists in other parts of the country, or is that just I feel like the gap between like young people like Gen Z and like, what is the one above us called? Millennials. Like the gap between millennial and Gen Z and then Gen X is bigger here than anywhere else in the country.
Oh, it has to be.
Like, I feel like everyone else kind of like adapted pretty well, but then here it's like, I don't understand it at all.
And why would I? Because this is
to.
better.
I don't
This
want
is
to.
way better. That's a communist sport.
There's also,
like, all
there's
right,
like
man.
an
Foot fairy.
unwillingness to change.
Because it's European.
Wow, that was super deep there, Mars. There is an unwillingness to change here in our cultural climate.
I kind of start to see it in myself where I'm like, I don't like TikTok. I'm not on it. I'm not doing it. But then like, if you reject it now, then when I'm 45 and people have gone way through TikTok and on to the next thing, I'm lost, bro.
Are any of you on? Is anyone here on TikTok?
I have a TikTok. I haven't.
Do you have the app downloaded?
No, I haven't had the app on my phone in probably 4 years.
I haven't had it in like a year. Do you have? Did anyone have?
I don't have it on my phone, but I do have an account on TikTok.
Do you have it on your phone, Sam?
No, I have like I am not.
Do you have it downloaded on your phone?
No, I don't have TikTok, and I don't feel like I'm very vocal about like, oh no, I don't have TikTok. I don't feel like I'm that guy. But Abby Jane is like, you
Who's Abby Jane?
always my girlfriend. We're dating.
Whoa!
We're dating.
Whoa!
We're dating, and she's my girlfriend. She's always like, every time any sort of like content gets brought up, that I'm always like, I don't have TikTok. I don't believe in that kind of stuff. And like, I don't do that. But she's always like, you are that guy. 100%.
I swear. Dude, Ella's that way too. Speaking of girlfriends, Ella's like, there's a weird culture that a few girls that I know have where they like,
you don't have to call it culture.
No, I'm going to call it culture because hear me out. They like liking Taylor Swift is rebellion for them. Like they're like, oh, we are like sticking it to the man, and I don't understand.
That is going to get some people.
I feel
fuming.
like
I want an explanation.
I think that
I guarantee you, almost every one of our female listeners is like can get it behind. Like, could you imagine if there was a male like a flow of events? Where,
I
like,
love
I
Morgan
think I
Wallen.
understand. I think I
no,
understand.
it would be like Ed Sheeran. Morgan Wallen's like, at least he's doing something like that. Actually, I listened to Morgan Wallen for the first time last night because we were listening to Spotify Wrapped, and he's
that's
like,
impossible.
I'm not,
That's your
I mean,
first
I've
time.
probably heard him at like Walmart on the speakers, but like,
Sand in my boots.
also his number one song, like he has this one song called "Hometown" that, or like Better Than My Hometown.
Cole
That
loves
song's
that
pretty good. But
I know it.
his
I don't
like
love it.
his main song. Do you remember what it's called? Like it was like the number one track in America.
The Cover Me Up cover.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
I
Also,
so mad.
Fast
That's-
Car by Tracy Chapman. I
The
think it was like
Luke Combs
Brett-
cover.
Luke Combs
Luke Combs
cover.
cover is way better.
You are a
Do you
schmuck.
think that?
I literally said out
Are
loud
you
last night.
insane?
I was like,
love that cover.
that is insane.
"What do you
That
mean
is
it's
a
way
hot
better?
take.
It's impossible for a cover to
Tracy
be better."
Chapman performed
His-
that at freaking Manchester to
I
like
know.
100,000
thing.
people. That is
Simply-
a cultural moment that will
Tracy
never
Chapman's
be replicated.
"Fast Car" is one of the best songs of all time, and I honestly thought it was disrespectful that Luke
I
Combs.
hated that he
Cole
did that.
loves it. I gotta piss like a racehorse. I'll be honest.
I'll be so honest.
You didn't have to tell us.
What's tough is I didn't like Fast Car
Wow,
until Luke Combs did it.
that's rude.
Wow.
Like
dude.
and I don't know what it is about Tracy Chapman doing it. I just don't like her. It sounds very like, you know, when girls are like, "Oh, I'm gonna talk in cursive," and they're like, like I don't. It sounds very like
They're impersonating like her, like it's
like the way she delivers her voice. I don't like.
I get like
period.
honestly like Lana Del Rey, Florence and the Machine, like those kind of
Yes,
people, like
yes,
they
yeah.
sing like that. But I think it's just there's a level of authenticity to Tracy Chapman that Lana Del Rey and Florence and the Machine don't
not
have.
have.
Real.
And
I can get
I'll
behind that.
I'll totally understand that.
I can get behind that.
Okay.
I don't. Whatever that is, whatever you want to call that delivery, I don't like it. Luke Combs' voice, I like.
I wanted to comment on.
I bet if Dr. Art Carden's wife sang, it would sound like that. That's the hippie. That is the hippie that he is. Yeah.
Okay, so your thing about this breed of girl who's like cool, has cool style, kind of sees herself as different, but she listens to Taylor Swift, and that's a
Yeah.
rebellious thing.
Your sister is one of them. Shout out
Yeah,
Ansley.
Real. I relate
name
to that
dropping.
because I think a lot of the way that I am is because I grew up in Jackson, Mississippi. And I grew up around a lot of redneck sort of people, blue collar sort of people. Nothing wrong with that kind of person. But I was
I got problems with
I
that
was
kind of
different.
I
was
hate
different.
people from Jackson, Mississippi. You're
I
not
was
from Jackson.
different than-
You're from Brandon.
I'm from Brandon, Mississippi. It's outside of Jackson. It's the suburbs.
What's the next city over? Bryan? Jackson, Brandon. What?
Brandon.
Oh, you're
else
just,
is in the
you're
area?
trying to like there's just different variations of the "un" at the end
Dun,
of a name.
Jackson, Brandon, Canton.
Brandon.
Canton is there.
That was a bad joke.
Okay. Anyways, I grew up in this southern place, and I'm into fashion and vintage cars.
I'm in the phone.
What's
And
the name of the place
European
at the store beside like Sneaky Beans?
Swellaphonic.
Swellaphonic is a dope store.
Cool
I'll say
skate
that.
shop. So I'm into all these things. I'm into photography. I wear skinny jeans when they're in style, and all these people around me.
Not now.
Not now. I don't. These are very baggy. All the people around me are wearing boots, going hunting, shooting deer, listening to country music, going to state school, whatever. So a lot of me is rebelling against that.
Yeah.
A lot of me is being into architecture and taking pride in that because it's
'Cause you're different.
than
Yeah.
what I grew up around. So then when you do something that is very mainstream that a lot of people do,
When you're
that,
different?
that is rebelling against yourself. So I'm rebelling against this guy who's different, who listens to different music than everybody else, who wears different clothes than everybody else. When I turn around and I listen to Drake, one of the most popular artists in the world.
And you like Drake.
And
You can
he
say
was
that.
one of my
I love
top
Drake.
artists.
He rolled up on
my
us
Spotify
listening
Wrapped.
to his new album.
But also, like Drake is not Taylor Swift. I don't know. That's just me.
I
That's
think,
It's the
I
same- I
think
think it's the
that's
same
the
thing.
I think that's the reasoning behind those kind of people. Because my sister grew up in the same place as me, so she is equally rebelling by listening to something super popular.
Jake has to go, everybody.
Jake, you have to leave.
Where are you going?
I have to leave. I'm going to sell clothes at Mom's Basement.
You're crazy.
Vintage Market.
Wow. Why do you have to leave right now? Gotcha.
It's 4 minutes away. All right.
Pleasure.
Good to see you.
Pleasure.
All right. Hey, well, I honestly think that could be Jake leaving could be a good way to wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been going for an hour. So
Yeah.
there you go, guys.
Podcast.
There's the
End
first
your thought. It's convicting because I feel like I said in the same thing.
Yeah.
And I do
We
think
can talk about it more. Bye, Jake.
Yeah. No. I
feel like there's so much more
sitting
there
in
to
this.
unpack.
I'm sitting in this because I heard someone, and I've been saying this to people. The way that I process things is I say thoughts to people, and then I want to hear what they think. So if I can decide if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
External processing.
Yes, I'm externally processing. So here's what I've been externally processing in my personal life lately. My two best friends, guys. I think when you're first born and you're first growing up in the world, you're very naive. Obviously, you don't know much about the world. You're a child.
Y'all are both firstborns. No, you're not. Sorry.
I'm not.
Shout out, Gracie.
I am a firstborn. From naivety, you learn about the world. You learn about how terrible the world is. The world's a bad place. Then comes cynicism, where you see the world as it is, and you're like, man, everything's terrible. And then I think from naivety into cynicism, then comes wisdom, because you have experienced the world. You know how terrible it is, but if you can get through the cynicism out on the other side, if you can combine cynicism with courage and hope, then comes wisdom, because you're not naive. You understand the world's a bad place, and you understand how terrible things can be, but you still do whatever the thing is anyways to try and make the world a better place. And
I could see that.
And I'm I'm trying to fight through cynicism and learn to accept and love people in the world for how it is and shoot for a better
And honestly,
future.
that might be why people enjoy just normal pop music. I think that could be a motive. They're just like, I'm tired of like trying to be cool. I just want to enjoy music.
Yeah.
My argument at that point is like, I just don't think pop music sounds good personally. And I could get there. I could get there and be like, okay, well then let's just, I think that my main qualm is when we do get there, and like Jake offered with the TikTok thing, like when people who are at the Taylor Swift, and they would argue that they got there through what you're saying. It's like they're fighting through cynicism to get to just like enjoyment, joy, whatever you want to call it. And then as soon as I'm like, I just don't understand, and they immediately are just like weaponize you for not getting past cynicism yet. There's a level of frustration that comes to me, because they think they're like, oh, like if I were ever to get a comment that was like, you would never do that.
I don't think that most people can articulate that. And I think part of the way you fully get past the cynicism is you acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm fighting to do that in my own life.
I also like, I think it's interesting too, because Sam was there with me, but also Sam and I have pretty similar taste in music. But my first exposure to music, besides like Toby Mac and Christian music and stuff, was like rap, because of my friends in like high school or middle school, because that's what they listen. They listen to like Kanye and Lil Wayne before basketball games. Yeah. And like, I do like that music. So I still like listen to Graduation and Dropout, College Dropout, and all those Kanye like albums. But then also my oldest brother, Seth, shout out Seth. He started driving when he was 16, obviously. And then he would drive Sam and I to school and drive us around all the time. And he had like an iPod Touch with his own Apple account, so our parents couldn't see what he was listening to.
That's crazy.
And he went he was listening to, he went to a theater academy, so he was around a lot of like artistic people. What? Yeah, and he legitimately started like Mr. Brightside was one of the first songs that I like loved. Like he started playing The Killers, Bon Iver, whenever he was like on his first album.
That's actually crazy.
And Two Door Cinema Club and Phoenix, and like the first bands that I ever liked, like I ever loved and knew the name of, that weren't Christian bands, were indie bands.
Yeah.
And I feel like
that's wild.
That not to be like a freaking individualist as Frick kind of guy. I'm not trying to be that. I'm trying to be honest. Like, I genuinely think for me, like, I don't know about nature, but like my nurture side, like I love indie music, and I feel like indie music is such like a Rage Against the Machine, like anti-establishment movement that people associate that I would like bands like, you know, freaking Dayglow or something like that, as in like this. Well, Dayglow's not a good example, but you know what I mean? Like, for me, it's like I genuinely never liked pop music. Yeah. I never had a place where I listened to Red or like whatever the heck her other albums are. Yeah. So then whenever I'm like, you know, 17 or 18, or honestly now is the first time I've ever really listened to Taylor Swift. I'm like, this is just like I genuinely think like that, like some of her music is like, never mind. I'm not gonna dog on Taylor Swift, but like I just don't understand, like in comparison to other music you could listen to, why sonically that sounds better for some people.
I have another thought. I wonder if some people, so a lot of people develop their music taste when they're in high school and middle school, and that's why a lot of older people, I think, are stuck listening to
what they grew up
listening to. Like the old stuff's always better, you know?
Yeah.
I wonder if the reason why some people like us find the lesser known artists, the indie music, the whatever, and other people are drawn towards the popular things. I wonder if it's almost in people's self-discovery in learning who they are through high school, which is kind of what happens through your teens and your 20s, discovering who you are and what you like and what you don't like. Some people lean into the unknown and are willing to go against the grain and figure out who they are and what they like independently of other people. Yeah. Which I think is kind of how we are.
That's more like nature than nurture, I feel like.
Whereas some people, they want to fit in with everybody else and they just want to find their people so desperately they're willing to bend to what is popular.
I think something that is really interesting is like there is a subcategory though of like us, our friends that like listen to the unknown artist and pride ourselves on the smaller artists, and then that becomes the like pop artist in our world, you know, like Bonnie Bear. We all know him, we all love him. Everyone knows who that is.
He also did an album. Honestly, that should be the guy we talk to about this. We should have Bon Iver on. We should have Justin Vernon on.
That'd be insane.
They literally have a little Justin Vernon sign on
that's funny
right over there.
But I think
he did an album with her. Like, that's great. There's probably interviews on that. We should listen to that.
And Ella's like biggest avenue, because she's such a Taylor Swift girl. She freaking loves her.
Who is Ella?
Ella's my girlfriend.
Shut up.
Yeah, she's fire. She's a beast. But she's always been Taylor Swift. Always been about it. And her biggest thing is like, Cole, I care. We're big on fighting the MO of I care about it, so you should care about it. You know, I've told her I freaking love golf. You do not have to care about golf. I don't want you to.
That's interesting.
You love Taylor Swift. I don't.
You like use the golf as ammo to be like, please don't make me.
Yeah, no, literally. But she has said, for your avenue in to liking Taylor Swift, please listen to the Folklore album, which is the one with Justin Vernon.
Sure.
And I've tried. The song that I love is the one that he features on, and I like his part.
Yeah.
So it's like,
the only Taylor Swift music I listen to is the Bonnie Bear stuff.
Yeah. But I think there is like a really interesting and not to go like personality type Enneagram crap. I'm like a 4. So my whole thing is like, I want to be individual, but I also want to be like cared for and loved and all this stuff. And so growing up with like people that have similar music taste to me, and we all like growing up around people like y'all, having like Justin Vernon or like RKS that become these like popular indie bands. Yeah. I was always grinding to find the
the next one.
Have you heard of so-and-so or whatever? And I don't know if that's probably like a personal, like, okay, what are we trying to prove? Like, why are we trying so hard for that?
Yeah.
And so in that, I've watched my music taste go from I'm grinding to find artists that no one really knows.
Yeah.
To I'm finding phonics and like sounds that I enjoy. And I'm going to sit there. And then like looking at my rap this year, I've kind of swung from like, I'm so indie, like you don't get me, to more back towards like, I don't like some pop music, but I'm going to choose like, people are in the car, I don't know your taste, I'm going to put on Zach Bryan because I like how he sounds and everyone likes him and it's a safe bet. I'm going to put on Noah Kahan, which are like the two most basic like pop guys right now.
Yeah.
Were they on your top 5? Either of them?
They were actually. Zach Bryan was my number 1. I started listening to him when I was in high school. When I started my construction job, that was like when I got into country music. Him and Tyler Childers were like,
that's a fitting time.
Yeah, and I like freaking loved it. And I've just always since then. It's like easy on the ears, but I also have like Spacey Jane, Gregory Leon Isaacov, like all those guys. But I like love the like current Joy Spacey Jane sound, and Ella was like, all of this music sounds the same, and I was like, that's what it sounds like when I listen to Taylor Swift. She's like, that is so funny. Yeah, like I just prefer that sound to how Taylor Swift sounds.
I can relate. There was a time in my life where like playing, what is the Rex Orange County song that's like
Loving is Easy.
Loving is Easy. Yeah. I remember there was a time end of high school, beginning of college, where I like adored playing Loving is Easy by Rex Orange County for like normies. Because they were just like, oh my gosh, this is indie music.
Yeah, and it's like this is your foot into this
like,
world.
Yeah. I mean, and y'all know, like my favorite music now is like borderline. Like it's not even there's not even voices. It's just Yeah. Shout out Elijah. Shout out Krungman. Shout out David Bazilia. Shout out Will Carlisle. Like you're offering me music that like no one can make fun of me about. It's just it's like, hey, why do you listen to that? It's like, I know the guy. It's where and he's not that's not a flex either. there's like 400 monthly listeners.
Elijah Knapp has 400 or 500 people who listen to his music.
It's like literally like it's not even like I know the guy. Like I could FaceTime them right now and they would want to be friends with you too. Like it's not even like there's no exclusivity in it at all. So
true.
Yeah. No, it is a fascinating thing to discuss though, and like all things, I think it is an interesting thing, like going out of like, you know, when we had this, I'm not gonna make this into a COVID thing, but it is just fascinating. Like you had society before COVID where like I felt like there was so much merit in what we were talking about, like being like the indie guy and like pushing through and being like the cool guy.
That's
and then
true.
you had to like
no
sit alone forever, and then like you realize nobody really cares about anything, and everybody kind of cares about like the same stuff. And then now there's like this weird newfound freedom in like taste and things. So I don't know, like that's why I feel like Valor is the most popular coffee shop in Atlanta, and like even like June is is the best coffee shop in Birmingham. But I feel like a lot of like normal like suburb people are like afraid of it, whereas before it was like it seemed like this spiral. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking in kind of colors now, but it is just it's a fascinating observation I have.
Yeah. I feel like I moved away a lot from trying to be different from everybody else and trying to just learn what are common things that everyone wants and everyone needs, and how can I help people feel more at home and safe.
Yeah, it's true. On that note, guys, this was a good time. I really enjoyed this first ever episode. I mean, I guess we technically recorded one episode before, but just you just really need one of these boards to make this happen. So now that we have this,
Cole, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
anytime.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jake. We'll see you again, I'm sure.
Thank
also,
you.
a premise of this that we haven't really shared yet is if you're on it, then you can be back on, if that makes any sense, as a host. So the next time Cole's on, he'll be hosting our guest.
Perfect.
And I'm excited for that.
Me too. I look forward to it.
Also, I just want to give a brief moment to shout out Blake Watley and Tim Whitley. Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yes.
Tim Whitley and Watley of Summer Boys, because you're one of the main reasons we're doing this right now.
100%.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Love you
Jackson
guys.
and Lachlan, if you ever listen to this, that will be the best day of my freaking life. Fair enough.
Real.
Legends. Anyways, signing out.